Okay. Thank you. Today we are starting. Hey guys, we're beginning. More fun with E.
Less fun with E.
More fun with E. Where does E come from? Why is there E? How does it work? We're going to start touching on that a little bit today. James heard this last year. I don't know that Honors Algebra 2 did. We're going to do a quick experiment. Okay? Are you guys ready?
Experiment?
We're going to be experimenting.
I've never heard of it.
Not too late. It took too long. We're started. Get out your notes. Okay. If we have time at the end. More fun with E. Now, here's a simple experiment. I want to know what happens if you
Pi vectors.
let's say you loan someone $1. Loan someone $1 at 100% interest.
That means they give you $2.
That's a simple interest, okay? If you loan someone $1 at 100% interest, okay, that's true. At the end of the year, they give you your $1 back plus another $1 on top. So in total, they give you $2 back, right?
Wait, not necessarily. Like, it could be. You said year, but it could be 100% per second.
I better say yearly, or else you're going to go nuts with this.
If you do for like 100% per second, and then every second you get
We're going to do something like that. Actually, we're going to start talking about compound interest for a second. Simple interest.
Compound.
Good. Okay.
We're going to
Simple
figure out
interest.
how much interest
Hold on.
per second.
Hold on. Stop.
No.
Chill. Relax.
No.
Take a cleansing breath. Okay. Simple interest would mean after 1 year, you receive $2 total, right? Okay. Who here remembers how compound interest works?
What?
How does compound interest work?
Is that a per?
We're getting towards PERT, but not yet. Not
Is that
yet.
like every quarter it increases at that amount?
I sort of.
By what amount, though?
Are these
By, it's like time.
Okay, guys, stop speculating on anything other than the very specific question I have in front of you. Stop thinking about stop thinking about where this is going. It's not helping.
It's
Oh,
like
oh.
time and.
Okay, there's a
I
formula
remember
for it.
it, though.
Let's see if you guys get the concept. Let's see if we get the concept first. Here's what simple interest, you declare an interest rate, you simply get that much interest back on top. Compound interest, you get smaller amounts of interest at shorter intervals. Yes, Lauren?
I remember the formula.
Okay, well, hang on a sec. What is the formula then?
Okay, so it's the simple interest, the compound interest equals. Oh wait, simple or compound do you want?
Compound.
Okay, it's the fixed number, but like interest equals the
Let's
fixed.
actually usually do it in terms of amount. Usually we say, okay, let me write down some terms.
Like the.
A we use for the amount in the bank at any moment.
Okay.
P we use for the principal,
There you
which
go.
is what we started with.
So there's two types. There's like compound,
Yeah.
and there's like the one
The
where you don't.
compound has. Okay, so then the T is time.
Hold on, and now R is rate and T is time in years.
Okay, so then wait, the principal is what you start with, or is it the amount is what you?
Principal is what you start with.
Okay, so A equals
Uh-huh.
P
Uh-huh.
plus. Wait,
Nope.
no. Times
Uh-huh.
1
There's an X in there somewhere.
plus
Oh.
R over There's an N.
There's an N in there. R over N raised to
and
the
then raised to the N minus T.
N times T.
Oh, whatever.
Okay, now, here's what an N is if we're doing compound. N
N
is...
is the percentage that you.
Nope.
Yeah.
It's number of times a year you compound.
I remember
That's what I
that.
said.
No, you said
You didn't.
percentage. Number of times a year the interest is compounded. Now, Lauren, that's a very good memory. Okay, that was like a visual memory you're trying to pull this back out of. I want you to remember this conceptually, Lauren. I want you to actually understand why it couldn't be anything other than N times T up here.
I mean, I remember it now. Why it's
Okay.
N times T. I just.
All right,
I couldn't.
let's work on reminding you a little bit. Okay,
I
here's
just
what-
left the where I shift the pluses to the.
Okay. Here's what compound interest is, okay? You get the interest figured more often during the year. You think that would be great, right? Okay, get the interest figured more often during the year. But you don't get the entire interest figured more often. If you get it figured 4 times a year, quarterly, you only get 1/4 of the interest rate added back onto your principal. If you get it figured 6 times a year, bi-monthly, then you only get 1/6 of your interest rate. If you get it figured every possible second, then you have to figure out how many seconds there are in a year and divide your interest rate by that. Yes, Connor?
When someone says like buy something, does that mean twice? And instead of saying bi-weekly, does that mean twice a week or once?
Bi-weekly means every other. Bi-monthly means every other month. Bi-weekly means every other week. So with time, it seems to mean every other. But for most other uses, it means 2. Bicycle means 2 wheels. I don't think it's used consistently.
I have heard that people say like bi-weekly to mean I do it twice a week.
I've worked at stores where there was things where there were published items coming out, and bi-weekly meant every 2 weeks. As in the publishing industry, anyway.
Okay.
That's all I know. Yes?
I can't remember, isn't it that the number of times you compound it,
Uh-huh.
isn't it relatively, aren't they all relatively similar except by like, they're off each by like
That's exactly what we're going to find out. We're going to go back to our...
a few cents or dollars.
Well, we're going to go back and find out what happens. Here's our simple interest formula.
I can do that,
Okay.
I can do that too.
Good, but it's too simple. I'm not even worried about it. Okay, for precalculus honors. James, follow me over to here. Okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to go to the same hypothetical situation. You loan someone $1 at 100% interest yearly. Okay? Now, let's do a little table here. Okay, amount of loan n, which is number of times we're compounding, and the return, well, let's see, amount after a year.
This is a chart.
Yeah.
We should do this shirt.
You spray painted it. It's the
Okay.
G.
So, the simple situation, guys, pay attention up here. The simple situation, if the amount of loan is $1, okay, and this is at our 100% interest, and it is compounded once. Compounded once is the same thing as simple interest. We're
Once
only
a
figuring
year.
the interest once a year, yeah. Then you're going to get $2 back. That's kind of nice, isn't it?
It's nice and simple.
Wait, it would be, okay, you get $1, and then...
Wait, you don't have to plug this into the formula. If it's 100%
No.
interest, you get 100% of the amount back.
If it was 2 times, would it be $2?
Oh, $2. What, we got $2 here.
Oh, wait. Oh, so then,
If you do plug it into the formula, n equals 1, your interest rate is 100%, which is just 1. Okay, now, we're going to still loan $1 at 100% interest. Now we're going to compound it twice during that year. Every 6 months, we're going to figure it out. But according to this formula, you're only getting half the interest. So,
it's still $2.
no, it's a little weirder than that. What happens is, here's the difference. Here's the difference. This is why I really want you to understand what this formula is doing. What happens is you get 50% interest at 6 months. So what does that give you?
50 cents.
At 50 cents total, or $1.50 at 6 months. Plus then, you get another 50% interest, but now that interest is figured on the $1.50. So now at the end of the year, you get plus 50% interest figured on the $1.50. So how much is that?
5, which would be
$2.25, yeah.
$2.25 total. Okay? So if you can ever get a deal where it's 100% interest, this makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
Only time you're ever going to get a deal with 100% interest is if you are borrowing from a criminal.
But how do you get
And you do not want to take that loan.
Because
Yes.
then they get a loan shark.
Martina.
How do you get 150?
Okay, here's the deal. If it's compounded twice a year, then what they do is they give you half the interest after 6 months, and then they figure half the interest again at the end of the year. So if you loan someone $1, 50% interest.
Once you get 50 cents back.
Yeah, it's you get 50 cents. So total you'll get $1.50 back. You'll get your $1 back plus 50 cents. Then what they do at the end of the year is they figure the interest not on the original $1, but they figure it on the $1.50.
Yeah.
So that was what gives you $2.25.